everyone. This is Benjamin Sens, your South Florida Code Compliance Specialist, over here with David Marder, broker owner, Level Realty. We're over here in his new office in Fort Lauderdale. What is up, David?
A lot of things.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't want to do our standard interview today. I want to talk about what's real. I want to talk about what's happening. I want to talk about you as a new father. I want to talk about what's going on in real estate. Okay. What's up, man? I know that was a lot I threw at you.
Yeah, no, I like it because when we spoke, we both said, let's not do the old, how are you, where'd you come from, what's going on, generic interview. So everything's good. I have a 9-month-old son.
Yeah.
I have a 10-month-old company.
Cool, yeah.
I have a lot going on. And,
I followed you. I mean, when I started marketing my business about 3 or 4 years ago very aggressively,
yes.
I mean, I followed you all the way back from when you were a CB. We were at awards events, things like that. So it was very interesting.
That's why I met you at Margaritaville, right? It was the Coldwell Banker Awards for
and it was very interesting how we both got to see, I look at what I do as pretty instrumental in the real estate community. You're a luxury agent and you're evolving into commercial and new construction and doing innovative things. So we're kind of like, we get to see each other grow.
Trying to grow.
And we get to follow each other. That's phenomenal.
It's fun. It's fun. I was happy because shortly after I met you at CB, I had to go digging through the drawer for your business card, and I appreciate that and all the times we've interacted since.
Many agents do. And many agents find the service that I provide, they find trying to handle themselves. Again, we just talked about some open pool permits. All these things come up all the time. So I try and be there the best that I can. In the shutter permit in Aventura, I'm like, sometimes, I try and give people the best advice and look, you want to get to the closing table, try and credit the buyer. And that's how one thing I wanted to talk to you about that's formed the business is it's a generic term, but it's something that we have a relationship.
Sure, exactly.
So you give people good advice.
That's why when I call you and I got a seller who's out of town and I don't want to be at City Hall in Aventura for 1 day or more, right? And
for a second.
You give me the phone number to call to get the engineer and this and that. It's a lifesaver.
No, and I was over at the Porsche Design Building. Okay. I was over there this morning. Open flooring permit. They passed the soundproofing. Absentee owner. The property was on an auction, but again, the guy got into a fight with a contractor, and thank God they had the soundproofing inspection. We didn't have to tear up any of the marble.
No, because when you have a condo, they want to see every layer of that thing as it goes up. So you would have had to rip everything off.
And some of the thresholds where the powder room was, where the main floor met the stairs. So I'm always going into these situations, and even like our daily lives, the resolution isn't the same. So we need to explain that to the client. We need to maintain our relationships. You're not working with cookie cutter properties.
No. It's never, no deal's the same, and now we have almost 50 agents here.
Wow.
So they're all, I know. So I'm getting a lot of phone calls every day, and now it's not just my deals that I'm trying to manage, but I'm trying to be there for, all the other things that pop up.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We're growing. We have about 35 residential, 15 commercial, to round the number, right?
Yeah.
So we're almost at 50, and we're doing good. We're very excited.
That's cool. And so, and I mean, you're almost. What's really amazing to me is you've surpassed the brokerages that you started with as far as size and numbers.
Well, I'm not bigger than Coldwell Banker yet.
No, I mean, some of these branches that I've seen. Yeah. And again, great people, we learned a lot of great things. When I first got into real estate, I was a Keller Williams agent across the street for 3 months.
Sure.
Until they told me I couldn't list my own property and the cap and all that, whatever. Okay. But these companies have helped guide us and structure us. But the reason why, from what I've seen, people want to work with me and people want to work with you is because us. they like Level, they like the brand, they like the company and the beautiful Class A office, but they like the relationship with, they don't
It's true, because I've always, it's one thing to say this, and everyone says this, and I can't tell you I've never gotten into an argument with another agent in a deal.
Yeah.
It's the business, but I would hope that if you polled every person that ever spoke to me, and I would hope that the proof is in the amount of agents that are starting to come to the company, that you want to work well with the other agents, right? And like you're saying, if you have good relationships with everyone, at the end of the day, it's good.
No, but I mean, what I personally didn't like about the companies, and we're kind of going off a little, which is fine, because most of our viewers and audiences in the real estate community, is that I didn't like the structure. You had to take the listing at 6%. The franchise says this. It's all the time, it's not good for the client. And you have clients that have different situations, and you have agents that have different situations and different structures.
Well, okay, you're saying something that is a big part of why I started.
Did I touch on? It's very sensitive.
It's there's things you don't want to say anything about other companies.
No, but I'm just saying the big guys, the big names, they all want a third of your income, and people don't talk about this shit.
Well,
and it's shit.
Okay, so commission splits are one thing. I'll tell you, Florida has very high commission splits compared to other parts of the country, though. And there's a ton of.
What about Israel, where it's like 1% or something like that?
Actually, I don't know about that, but I know other parts of the U.S. and New York and this place, people on 50-50, 60-40, 70-30 is high. Here, everyone wants to be on a 90-10, and everyone's going to 100%
That's
models.
The culture that the 100% has started.
Well,
I wouldn't want a couple thousand agents attaching their license and running around to me for a transaction fee and $60 a month.
Well, exactly.
But that's what it's
we're not that model. My model is come work with me and come work with my partner Josh.
You won't take any agent.
If you're commercial. No, we honestly, I know we have a big number for
just like you won't take any listing.
I do not. We have a big number for only being open 2.5 months since COVID, because I shut the doors in February, and that didn't count really. So, but we've done I've made a couple phone calls. I've sent no recruiting emails. I don't want every agent. I don't want agents.
Look, I'm on that DBPR list.
Correct.
I have a real estate license. I didn't see a blast from Level Realty.
I'm not at the Gold Coast graduation with my business card, and you
can't solicit in the classroom. You got to wait. You're like the ambulance chaser out the door there.
I might hire someone to stand out the door, but that's a few years down the line. But right now, if you're less than 2 years in the business and you haven't done X amount of deals and this and that, where I'm succeeding is kind of talking to agents that, over the years, when on my teams and other brokerages, I've helped a lot of agents where maybe they were stuck at 5 million, maybe they couldn't break through 10 million, maybe they wanted to get to 15 million, right? I'm not the biggest agent in the world. Last year I did 25 million. I'm not shy to say it. I know there's a lot of people bigger than me, smaller than me,
sure,
whatever.
You're successful yourself.
I like myself.
Sure, no.
But my point is, where I've really had success is you're at 5 million, you're somewhere where you don't really get the support of, hey, David, I don't get marketing that well. I don't understand PPC, SEO. I don't know how to make pretty flyers. Whatever the question is, I love the branding.
I need a closing court.
That's simple stuff.
Support services, things like that.
Ben, you know what? With that type of stuff, I think any company can hire a transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
Where I am is, you're an agent who's good. You're already functioning you're firing on almost all cylinders, and you want to sit down with me once a week, schedule a meeting, and you want to talk about how you're going to go from X to Y, right? And we're going to sit down and put a whole branding campaign together. I'm going to show you the success that I've had and what's worked for me, and we're going to come up with something unique for you. And really, when I sit down with these agents, one thing I say is, now you're turning this into a recruiting interview, so I told you I didn't want to go too much of that, but one thing I really say to people is, every interview you go on, they're going to say, we're so agent-centric. We're all about the agent. And then you sign a deal, you get there, and you realize brokers are putting up these roadblocks in front of you. Oh, we want our logo here, we want this, we want that. You can't sign that listing agreement. You have to do that. What you were just saying. I want to really put the agent in front, put Level behind, right? And I don't need my name and head and face on everything. And hopefully some of the stuff we have rolling out very soon is going to prove that. And really, we've had an incredible last few months.
I've seen it,
and for the team too, not me personally, right? So it's been good.
I I've seen it, and again, I think what's really cool is all those relationships, to circle back, that have brought you
coming
there.
back.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
And these buyers and sellers and people who you've been honest with and have dealt with properly, they're coming back, because again, I hear so much down the line, my realtor told me I could build a pool and the setbacks are this, and that's more along the technical stuff that I deal with, that I help people.
I don't want to give people advice. That's why I got you.
Correct. So
on that type of advice,
what I try and explain to agents and title companies and real estate brokers and real estate attorneys is that I want them to keep the relationship with their client.
Okay.
I want to be the one to provide the technical advice as a third party, and I want to take that liability off you guys.
Yeah.
So kind of like that's the role that I serve. It protects the brokerage, it protects the transaction, and I think it's very important.
It is. You remember my crazy story, to try to paraphrase, just so that I can give you a shout out on your own thing here, if that's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
A lady closes, 2 days later, the city's knocking on the door. Hey, everything you did was done unpermitted. And the sellers are gone, right? And you worked a little bit of magic, and I can go down a long story.
Correct. And I think that's the culture. I think that's the synergy in South Florida. A lot of contractors are fly by night. I'm in Hillcrest and Hollywood, and this shutter guy puts up shutters for all these elderly people and gets approved to work in the building and gets the permit issued, but doesn't call for any inspections. So I think that's a lot of what the messes that
in this particular building, the manager of the association was letting people do stuff without permits.
Sure.
And then she thought she was being nice to everyone. And then some people might say, I love living here. They let me do whatever I want, right?
Until a kitchenette sink
there
explodes.
There you go. You'd rather be in the building that says, no one's allowed in, let me see the paperwork. Then go ahead and...
Well, no, you're shitting where all over the place.
Yeah.
And again, I was at a building on Hollandale Beach Boulevard where I helped an investor close over 66 permits, and this was built up over a long time.
Wow.
But, the point is, when he went to refi, not even a sale, when he went to refi, he had all these open permits or expireds. He had unpermitted work, which is completely separate.
Different.
So now we need to bring the city in to close these open permits, all these tenant improvements, things like that. But again, like Del Prado or any older condo in Aventura, these guys want to put washer dryer in the unit,
that's a big one.
This is how
that's a big one.
This is how you end up creating millions of dollars in litigation and damages. And again, it just right at the bottom of the line, whenever you sign a lease with a tenant, you make sure they have an occupancy certificate. You make sure they've done their build out correctly. But again, it's going to end up biting the owner, the property manager, or the realtors are really eager to make the deals. And
well, what happened? What was a little surprising to me is that you have a title company run all their searches, do all their stuff. Nothing comes up, clear title. But nothing comes up because they never pulled anything.
Correct.
So now I'm thinking to myself, whoa, if I know I'm walking into a brand new place, I might want to tell the title company, hey, on that clear search you did, right? Did nothing come up in the last 30 years?
Correct.
Like, was there never anything done? Because then I know I'm putting my seller or my buyer in a bad position.
That gets into a very interesting point where there's unpermitted work on the property. One of our partners, Reliable Lien Search, again, amazing company. They pull the city reports for the title companies and real estate attorneys.
No, they're good.
What's phenomenal about them is, again, this information costs money. All the municipalities take different turnaround times, but they don't tell you about unpermitted work. So all the lien searches include, like you're saying, are expired, open permits, liens, code violations, water issues, unpaid bills, unpaid taxes to prorate at the closing, all those things.
Okay.
And so what we found a lot is that again, the home inspectors, they and the agents, they don't acknowledge. They're like, oh, I see a new kitchen. It's a single family. I don't know if this pulled permits, and I don't want to say anything. Seller might have signed a seller disclosure, but what we're finding is that these sellers, they're really getting taken advantage of two reasons.
Sometimes by the contractor.
By the contractor, and people really don't pull, kitchens and bathrooms single family. They don't pull permits because it's more than the entire work, and the city stops you at every point. But they're getting beat up during their general inspection period, and then after the general inspection period, that's when the lien search comes in.
Yes.
So they're getting negotiated with a second time.
Correct.
And then the agents find themselves in a disarray.
Now you're in a tough spot. You know what's cool though, and it sounds like they might be doing this, but when you come back and say, hey, everything's clear.
Sure.
A one-liner that says, and by the way, the last permit pulled was 1974, right?
That's phenomenal.
Because if that line comes and I go, wait a minute,
correct.
How is that possible? This kitchen was built yesterday.
Correct.
Then I'm going to go, oh, it's clear because they never pulled anything.
Correct.
So maybe that's a cool safety net we could put up.
We were doing this you could fish around on Pompano Beach's building department website. Again, a lot of times they're not accurate, or you don't know why the inspection failed, and you kind of have to dive in there.
You know what Pompano's doing now, right? How they're checking the pictures.
Yeah.
Right? Me and you found that out. Yeah, they're going on Zillow and they're going to check. I'm going to talk to the audience here, right? So if a home is sold and they go on Zillow and they see a new kitchen in the photographs, you might get a letter at your door, right?
Exactly.
Am I right? Yeah.
So what they're doing is, without even looking.
Hey, you know what? Did I ever turn this mic on? Am I doing good right now? Okay.
With that, all right.
Maybe I'm talking loud enough into yours.
We're good. No, but what the amazing thing is, without even looking, they're slapping a notice on the property owner's door.
Just on pictures from the internet.
Just on pictures from the internet. A lot of times the property owner lets them come in, which really they shouldn't. But a lot of time it's a condo commando, but what we're mainly speaking about is pictures when you list a property on the MLS or an agent being syndicated onto all the different websites, which is what we pride ourselves in and that's part of our marketing. And the cities are being very aggressive.
Absolutely.
But again, they're in condominiums, like in office buildings, you're attached to other people. So again, they're looking out for the huge water damage,
of course,
the huge problems. But the problem is how they're going about doing it, which I don't like it because again, you're throwing a wrench. A resident's in a hardship situation, you're throwing a wrench in their sale. Yeah. So everything's been negotiated with. Nothing came up on the lien search because there weren't any open or expired permits, and then they get hit with this thing on their door.
Well, maybe they almost want people to know that they do that as a deterrent, right?
I mean, a long time ago, the city of Hollywood, which this was found unconstitutional, they were going into open houses, code officers who were disguised.
Wow.
Going into open houses.
I never heard that.
They were not, and I think what was very interesting is they got in trouble because they weren't presenting themselves.
Of course.
They weren't presenting themselves as a city. North Miami, Biscayne Park, El Portal, a lot of these cities in Miami-Dade, they have reoccupancy inspections, which means the city needs to come out to the property to inspect the bed and bath count, any unpermitted work, and really anything the hell that they want before you get that certificate to sell the property.
So I was going to say this in the same breath, like New Jersey and other states that I know that I have friends that do business there, and I used to live there. On a regular house sale, there's a CO. Someone's going to come out and make sure the fire alarms work, make sure everything works, as if you just built a new building. Here in Florida, if I sell your house,
so if you have a 1920 house,
correct,
the city or the township or the county,
when you go to sell it to me and I do an inspection, it's not just my inspector came and what I want fixed and major code violations. It's a CO and they got to check certain boxes off in this CO. Fire alarms. The step is too big.
The rise and the rise,
thank
stairs.
you. Yeah, things like that. There's no railing here. That's a safety. There's actually a CO, and we don't have that here in Florida.
And obviously, if they find unpermitted, we have them for new construction. But
for new construction, of course, you got to get a TCO and a CO.
And if they find unpermitted things, then they don't they don't pass you.
Correct.
Or violations.
Speaking of, one of the big things that we're doing here at Level Realty is we have a new construction division.
Nice.
Our first project I've been working on for about a little over 2 years now is called Main Street Lofts. You're going to meet the developer from Azure Equities today.
Nice.
After this, we're doing a little team meeting, and I got a special thing planned.
I love it.
For a little investment group that we do here. But we're going to talk to all the agents about their best ideas and see if we can help them with it.
Cool.
Right? But I don't want to give all my secrets away. But real quick, we just got our CO finally. It got delayed because of COVID in the town of Davie, and things were moving slow. But I got news yesterday that we're going to be able to start closing next week. So we've got 40.
I've driven by the site so many times, but I've never got the
my huge 30-foot banner got ripped. Yeah, my big head blew away. But we got 46 of the 49 sold. But then we have another building coming.
Nice.
That we just launched like a month ago for reservations.
Nice.
And in 2 years that one will be done, like a sister building with another 50 units.
And how did you get, I mean, we know you're in the relationships and the circles with developers. How did you get into, you rarely see the hybrids, the residential and commercial, and then you're working with developers. How did you get all that?
This developer relationship, okay, I'm someone who grew up in New York.
Yeah.
I came down here at 22 years old. I got an associate's degree. I went into brand development and marketing, and I had a whole career before real estate. Okay.
Marketing.
But brand management, I used to fly to China 4 times a year and bring products in and create brands and packaging and all these things, right? I love telling the story. One day, it'll look good on a resume that I'll never use. But the point is, maybe that helped me growing my brand. And it definitely
It's a path.
It definitely did. So, with that being said, I don't even know where I was going with all that. Oh, my point is, I had no connections. I didn't have a dad down here who was a lawyer, or my mom wasn't the head of the association. I didn't have friends in high school where I could sell their first home. I just one day got my real estate license, and it's very hard to be a realtor. People think it's easy. So you pound the pavement. But my point is, in pounding the pavement, I'll tell you a funny story. I don't even tell the
doors, the phones.
What else too? To be honest with you,
there was nothing you wouldn't.
I'm not ashamed to admit this. I started buying every crappy lead service you could find, figuring out which ones I liked and that I worked well, and tweaking my pitch.
Cool.
And the best pitch for me, and we're going to go off on a different tangent, but the best pitch for me was, with newer buyers. On one phone call, I can turn what is going to be a 5-minute phone call into a 20-minute phone call. Sometimes that's a blessing and a curse, right? Because I talk too much. But I'm able to show my value to a new home buyer very easily. Hey, did your lender tell you that you need to find a condo with 10% reserves if you don't want to put 20% down? Things that I knew they wouldn't have known just starting the process. I was able to hook them, show them that I'm a smart guy, tell them things, and they go, whoa, we gotta use this guy, right? So
you're providing your value, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. You're developing the relationship, and
So Ben, what I was going to say, and I'm sorry to cut you off, it's hard to do that now, because now if you call me with $1 million cash, and you want to go buy something, or you're a lead online who comes into my website or Zillow or whatever. You don't need me to teach you FHA. You don't need me to tell you about money. You don't need my title guy. You don't need my lawyer, right? Because you got some guy that you've been using for 30 years.
Sure.
You don't need my mortgage person. You're going to get a portfolio. So now, how do I tell these luxury people what's so good about David? Because they don't need any of my, under 510,400 conventional loan wisdom, right?
Sure.
So it's a different game. But sorry, I cut you off there.
And so that's how, you bridge, into commercial transactions, new developments, things like that.
So what happened with the new development is pounding the pavement, meeting people, and one day I'm at a company, and I just switched brokerages 5 or 6 years ago, my first brokerage to my second brokerage, and I won't give names, but I'm someone that likes to sit down and meet everyone in the office. So I sit down on my second or third day next to one of the admins, and I say, hey, I'm David, I'm the new guy. I'm going to sell a lot of real estate here, right? And she goes,
wow, no one in this office ever talks to me. You know that?
Exactly, but actually a little better than that. I said, tell me about you, what's going on, what does your husband do? Or her fiance at the time.
Sure.
We're friends now still. She says, oh, he's a loan officer. And I said, oh, wow. You giving him all the business from the office, and making sure everyone uses him, right?
Yeah.
She goes, no one in the office ever uses him. I go, why? She goes, I don't know. So I go, can I have his card? I went and called him right then, and he said, will you meet me next Tuesday? I said, absolutely. I went there next Tuesday. He said, I'll have a surprise for you. I walked in, and the developer that I now sell 100 condos for is sitting there.
Wow.
And now, that's a great story. David fell into luck, kinda, but
I don't call luck.
But it then took me 2 years to chase that developer, because just because he met me there and I was a newer agent who was a little quick talker, didn't mean he just said, here's my condo building. Now for 2 years I chased him around. I showed up at his projects. I tried to bring buyers to him. I sent him handwritten letters. I did everything you got to do. And then finally he gave me a very small opportunity. He put me and 5 other agents, or maybe 4 or 5 total, on a project.
He put you to the test.
He didn't want to sign an exclusive for his whole building. So he said, David, we're going to play. You're going to beat him right now. He said, he didn't say this, but this is my spin. He said, David, we're going to play Realtor Survivor. And we're going to see who the last one on the island is.
All right.
And I survived. So
that's awesome.
Now I got the second building too.
That's great.
Yeah, that's the full story.
You earned through your persistence and building your relationships, you earned the future business of the client.
Well, once I got the opportunity on the building, what happens is this. You got 5 agents, right? You give me 3 listings, this one 3 listings, this one 3, all these people. But we're paranoid creatures, real estate agents. And real estate agents, if you have a listing on unit 1, 2, 3, and I have a listing 4, 5, 6, and I go send flyers all over this neighborhood, right?
Sure.
Someone gets the flyer, they might call up unit 1, 2, 3, and you're going to get the sale. You're going to get the sale because I did the marketing. So all 5 agents were saying, I'm not going to spend money and I'm not going to do this because I'm not protected.
Oh, and they want exclusivity. They want to make sure.
And I don't blame them. I thought that at first too. If I build a website and pay for Google clicks, or I do or whatever, but I said to myself.
But these are very closed-minded people.
I said to myself, I'm either going to try or not try.
Sure.
So what I did was built the website, ran the ads, did the click campaign, started calling offices saying, can I do a presentation, right? And I said, this is my project. This is my project now, right? And I started sending that developer videos of me doing presentations in front of all the offices in the area every other week. Listen, I had residential real estate too. It's not like I sit in a sales center. I had other responsibilities. This is now like 4 years ago when this first started.
So he's doing video 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, even before that. But what I'm telling you is I had my camera with me in front of 50 agents at ABC office in Weston. Wow. And then I would send it to the developer and be like, hey, are any of these other guys doing this for you? Right? Hey, have you seen my website? Hey, have you seen my video? And then I had the most sales on top of that too, so that didn't hurt. Right?
But you don't, again, you don't have to explain yourself. You show by action and you show value. And one of the things I admire about you is your sincerity. Again, that admin, circling back, you initially knew that you were going to be working in the office and you wanted to simply just meet the people that you were working around. And that's not luck. When I worked in the building department, I had the custom home developer in Windmill Reserve, and I had the Service America guy pulling plumbing permits. And you treat everyone the same, and that's how you take care of your business, and people seem to gravitate around that.
It's hard, because in real estate, when you have a $2 million house and a $200,000 house, you know which one's making you more money.
The attention.
But you have to treat as best as you can. I'm not telling anyone to leave $1 million on the table to go make $1,000. But this $200,000 house, that's their mansion.
Correct.
And if you can really, really realize that they're calling you and freaking out because it's the biggest thing in their world, and you can really, whatever the word is, empathize with that and show them that you're really, but you got to treat everyone the same, but you got to make, you got to, it's tough at times. But you try. Go ahead.
Last thing. How did you meet Bo Jackson?
Oh. How'd you know about that? I told you that already?
I heard going around the office.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this actually, but okay. I won't tell you where, but we leased his new office here in South Florida. And so I got to give a shout out. My commercial division. I'm a residential guy. Wow. I like the marketing and the branding and all that stuff. And commercial, you know what? My partner makes fun of me. He goes, David, It's my job to find out how much the paint costs. It's your job to tell me what color of paint you want, right?
Yeah.
And we have a good relationship right there.
Sure.
And we have a competitive relationship where the residential guys are better than the commercial guys, and the residential girls are better than the commercial.
It's nice.
But it's all in good humor and good faith. But the point is, they're doing amazing right now. Commercial level, we have 3 out of 4 corners basically listed and under contract. The only corner we don't have in Oakland Park Boulevard and Federal is Target, right? And that's not for sale right now. Okay, we have a bunch of big things coming. I mean, a lot of people don't know about this, but we have the pier in Lauderdale by the Sea listed right now for $30 million with a lot of action on it, right, and a lot of international action on it. And everyone who's scared of commercial right now, and they're scared of mostly office space because light industrial and things like that are doing very well. I got 2 commercial properties closing, and I've never done commercial in my life.
Wow.
So what we have here at Level is you're a residential agent. Actually, let me take one step back. We're making resi-mercial not a dirty word anymore.
Okay.
If you're at ABC Commercial Real Estate Company and you want to sell a house, they stick their nose up, we don't do houses.
Yeah.
And if you're at XYZ Residential, we got one guy in the back that does commercial. Here, we're creating incremental business on our agents because when you sell a house, that guy knows someone that owns an office.
I think it's, again, to limit yourself and put yourself in a box. I mean, I even talk about myself as a GC, if I was just the guy selling windows, but I'm not. I'm an engineering
100%.
consultant. I'm a land use, environmental. I do business tax receipts. I do open permits, closeouts.
Ben, you are the jack of all trades.
No, I'm not. No.
You're exactly what you're the epitome of.
I'm an owner's rep and a consultant, but again, I didn't put myself in a box. When I was an agent a long time back, when I left the city, my whole family was in real estate. I felt like I was doing rentals and property management, and at the time I was in my mid-20s, and I didn't really understand the business as I do now of things.
Gotcha.
But again, the real estate, the sales part of it, what you're trying to do is you're trying to teach these agents how to be sustainable, which most agents don't have cash flow, and they're not sustainable. So again, that's how you have people making the right business decisions for their clients.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I think that's terrific.
And we're finding a niche with the resi-mercial thing. And if you're an agent and you come here, and hey, everyone knows what's going on right now. People are selling their businesses and their houses in New York and coming here.
Sure.
Well, they need a house, they need a business.
Sure.
We're going to help you with both. And if you don't want to even touch one side of that deal, you only want to deal with the commercial and not the rest, no problem. And we're not going to tax you too much on that either. We're going to do something very fair. We're going to take care of the client. And now you just got 2 sales instead of 1, instead of having to refer it out. And I don't know why it's such a rare thing, but I'm happy we're doing it so well.
I think, look, again, I think a lot of the big names said this person is a team leader and this person's a buyer's agent, and everything's so structured and organized. But what I say is, again, we're in business for ourselves here, for every opportunity.
And the agents are too.
Yeah,
and the agents are in business.
Okay, yeah. The agents are, so if you tell them, hey, you heard about this, don't worry about that. Stick to what you do. Put yourself in the corner.
No. Hey, you know what we're doing after this meeting? It's basically bring us your craziest ideas and we're going to fund them for you, right?
Yeah.
So when I talk to agents, I say, if you want to come to Level, you got to promise me one thing. Anything that you can think of, any crazy idea, I want to say yes to, right? So bring it to me. And not so many people have brought them to me. So we're calling a company meeting and we're telling everyone, bring me your crazy idea. Well, get ready because you're going to be the guest judge.
Woo!
We're putting you on, you're in the Shark Tank, man. You're on Shark today.
I'm so excited.
You got to tell me the best idea and we're going to fund it.
I love it. David Marder, Level Realty. We're over here in Fort Lauderdale for our interview sponsored by Reliable Lien Search. Again, we really love being here today. David, thank you for having us. Look forward to your meeting.